Today is a first for the Johnsons. Hi everyone, and welcome to this trek that we're taking into the heart of the Brecon Beacons. Glorious scenery today, the mountains towering around us, but we're on a mission. We're going to take a walk down this pathway where we're going to discover an abandoned Victorian superstructure and search in its shadow.
And there's a helicopter. There's Phil.
I found a tunnel!
Ooh, is it exciting?
No,
Oh,
but it is a tunnel.
we'll come and have a look. Ooh, look at this.
There's a track running above.
Yeah. There's all this
And
water.
this was obviously constructed to let the water, the stream through, and the traffic, probably horse-drawn in this day, over the top of the tunnel.
Ooh, it doesn't look very safe. I'm not walking up there. Some of that stone has split. I don't want it landing on my head. Very pretty though.
Very pretty.
Listen to the sound of the water. Rush hour in the Brecon Beacons. Some big dumpy bags down there. You can see all the sheep's wool's all spilling out because they're so full. And what a beautiful old fence. If you know how to spin wool, this place is brilliant because there is so much sheep's wool lying on the floor. It's okay, there's not a problem. This is actually just fallen off the sheep because he needs his summer coat now, not his winter one. They just drop their fleece if it isn't sheared off. Unfortunately, I developed a wool allergy, so I'm now going to put this down before I start itching and sneezing. A shame, or I would have taken it and done some spinning with it.
Could you use this for craft? What do you think?
Stand it up.
Ooh! Stand it up? That could be tricky. Hang on. You ready for this? Here we go.
I think it may, ooh. I think it may be rather large. Fun, but too big.
Too big for your craft.
I think so. It won't fit on my desk.
In that case, I won't put it in the bag.
Okay. Look at this. To give you an idea of how tall this root ball is, That's the full extent of my hand, and it goes up further. That was one big root.
It's bigger than me.
It is rather large, isn't it? And there's the poor tree that's fallen over.
And here we are, after an incredible walk through absolutely amazing and majestic countryside. We come to this huge man-made structure, Neuadd Dam. Now, it's not unusual to find dams in the Brecon Beacons. It's been a place favoured by engineers to capture water to supply local demand and further afield. But what makes this dam special is the history that surrounds it from when it was opened in 1902, 120 years ago. It took 6 years to complete the complex here with the lower and the upper Neuadd dams. And the men that worked here did an incredible job to build this formidable structure. As the years progressed, our concept for building structures such as this was very municipal. It was very much build a thing that'll do the job. But the Victorians had other ideas. They wanted to build something that would do the job, but would still be in keeping with their idea of beauty and grandeur. And they certainly succeeded here at Neuadd Dam. Now, Neuadd is the Welsh word for hall, as in a large building or residence. And as we were walking up through the woods, you could have believed that this was a Victorian mansion standing amongst the trees beneath the grandeur of the surrounding mountains. But of course it's not. This was built for one purpose only, and that was to hold back millions of gallons of water and then release them for the purpose of the villages and town below, particularly the town of Merthyr. And that's where the history gets interesting. Because not too long after they built this, they began to realise it leaked. Yes, if there's one thing you don't want from a dam is that it leaks. Now, it didn't leak on a massive scale, but the water was seeping away. And in trying to understand what had gone wrong, there were different theories. They had used shuttering at the centre of the concrete body of this dam, which then rotted. And it's believed that allowed water to seep within the dam. But whatever the problem, you can't have a dam that leaks. So over the years, particularly in the 1960s and then in the 1980s and then in the 1990s, there has been major renovations, pointings and other things gone on here in order to try and keep the water in the dam and keep the people down below safe. Decade after decade, the workmen came, the waters were lowered, the place was pointed, they worked on the inside, they worked on the outside. They did all they could, but no matter how hard they tried, it kept leaking. Eventually, there was a significant weather event in 2014. Storms came and the waters were lapping over the top of the structure. Now, on a positive, it held. But of course, the negative was it was still leaking. But that event gave an opportunity, using all the modern technology, to find exactly where the problem was and what needed to be done. And there were three solutions. First, to reduce the level of the dam by making structural changes and keeping the level of water much lower and thereby safer. There was a problem with this. 9 years earlier, in 2005, this structure, which has impressed us so much today, also impressed others, and it was listed. So you couldn't make any significant change to the structure because this is what is meant to be maintained for future generations. Plan 2, carry out the major structural work that was needed to make this dam work as it was intended. This was going to cost an absolute fortune. And Welsh Water found that very hard to justify when, in reality, at the moment, and for the foreseeable future, this dam was excess to their requirements due to other developments around the area. But they couldn't simply abandon this and just leave it here for posterity for people to look at, because something that came out when they did this study was that on the models of global warming, combined with their models for the growth of population in this part of Wales, they may well need to expand in the future their facility for providing fresh water. So plan 3 came into action, and that's what they've done. Right at the base of this there was a plug, a concrete plug that had been put in, 3 meters in diameter and 12 to 13 feet deep, and then engineering bricks put to cover the end. That was plugging the tunnel that was used to divert the river while this structure was going up. So they removed the plug, lined the tunnel, and today the river flows on the course that it did until 120 years ago when this was completed. And the structure stands so that for future generations, if that need arises, then the money can be spent and this can be brought back into service more cheaply than looking for a new site. That's what I call thinking ahead. And our being here to make this film, to release this weekend, is significant. As you can clearly see on the plaque that they put on the building when they opened it, that it was 120 years this weekend, on the 10th of July 1902, that a 6-year project was completed and this phenomenal structure was opened and used for the first time. I found a brick!
Ooh, let's have a look.
I don't know if there's anything written on it.
There's baldy on that side.
Yeah, well,
A nice crisp frog, so I don't think it's that old.
no.
Oh, this is a baldy one, is it?
It is. No words.
Oh, how disappointing.
Ta-da!
Well done. We're nearly at the reservoir and I've seen this. Now it's a screw top bottle, admittedly, but I thought we'd check it out because of the lines on the front. And I'm not quite sure what that image is there, but it says Par Pry Limited. Never heard of those.
No.
I wonder what bottle that was. I wonder how old it is. Obviously it's quite old. Look at all the plants growing inside it.
Yeah, so we won't be taking it anywhere.
No, but it's
but if we get a good shot of it, then we can check it out.
yeah, it's an interesting bottle.
But
Another
yeah.
Flash Gordon bottle. Stick it that way and it can fly through space.
Well, we've taken a stroll right the way to the far end of this incredible structure. And behind me now, you can actually see the non-reservoir. There is a stream down there, there is a river down there, but if we'd come here 20 years ago, that would have stretched as far as you could see with water, and the mountains beyond would be reflecting in the beautiful still waters of the reservoir. For us, we're going to take a moment now, a moment to get out the flask and to get out our picnic and have a little break before we go investigating and seeing have any treasures been left behind as the waters receded. So while we enjoy our picnic, why don't you pop over to the shed and see what I've been up to. Welcome to the shed, and today I'm just going to put together a simple piece of craft, a little ornament made up from a plinth that was left for me down at the dump by our friends Mary and John, and a find that came from one of the Brecons that I picked up for 50 cents. And I'm going to add to the mix some of my collection of sea and river glass, because I've got a fair bit of that hanging around the shed these days, in drawers, in pots, in boxes, and I need to get some of it used up, so I'm going to use a little bit of that today. Tool wise, I may need to use my trusty hammer. Being trained as an engineer in the colliery, then the hammer is the most important tool of all, and of course Caroline's glue gun. That's down at the shed as well, and I will be returning it as soon as I'm finished. I may need to use the Dremel, not sure yet, see how it goes. Anyway, let's crack on and see if we can get this looking beautiful. Now I'm quite pleased with the way this is coming on. I love the effect of the different shades of green in the background, creating like the rushes and then the swans up ahead, and it seems very fitting today that we're in that place that once Victorians sat and watched the waterbirds as they ate their picnics on their blankets along the banks of that wonderful new reservoir that had opened. And yet we are up there having our picnic looking into a void that once held millions of gallons of water, but now the sheep graze where the swans once swam. But I have one little piece I want to add to this, because down here in my drawer I've noticed something that's been with us for a little while, and I think that this addition will add depth. See if you know what I'm talking about. Here's one of my drawers of bits and pieces. We got everything from a crumpled Jif lemon to a nice pretty candlestick and all kinds of bits and pieces here. There's a nice flower there, but here's the piece that I'm thinking of. Now you remember the video where we picked this up? Well, I'm just going to add it to the model and see how it looks. Now I think that adds real depth to this piece. I love the change of colour and texture with the white crazed swan in the background and these elegant chrome swans at the front. I think the whole piece looks stunning. Absolutely stunning. We're not going to see any swans, I dare say, but who knows what we may find as we go back now, finish off the picnic and head into the empty dam. Well, my last mouthful of coffee and then down to see what we can find.
Danger. Deep water. Oh no. No swimming. I'd love to see you swim in that. There's the life buoy stand. Just in case you drowned in the water. I don't think you're going to need that again. There's just a little trickle of a river down the middle. One of the problems with getting down to the water is we're walking through all these reed beds. It's quite boggy in places underfoot. I had a brilliant idea to follow some sheep, thinking, well, if they know the way through, I'll go that way. But sheep are much lighter on their feet than me, so they were getting through where there was no way I could. But I think I found a little way through. hopefully we can get down to the water at some point, because there's such a lot of these reeds and they're quite big and thick in places. I reckon we'll get there. We'll persevere, and I'll turn the camera back on when we get down there. We made it! We're down on the river. There are lots of stones, lovely beachy looking areas, but at the moment I can't see anything that's standing out. So we're going to persevere and wander upstream and see if we can find anything. And then if we don't, then we'll wander all the way back downstream to the base of the wall. That could be interesting.
It's absolutely incredible to think that whilst I'm just stood on a river's edge, enjoying the sound of the water and with the glorious mountains behind me, that 20 years ago there's no way I'd have been stood here, because the water would have been 100 feet above my head. I don't know, but I'd be a long way down and in a lot of trouble. But so far our search along the river isn't yielding any of the kinds of treasures that we hope to find when we're out and about. So we're just going to take a trip now along the inner wall and see if there's anything there that's of interest.
We're at the bottom of the wall now, and it's really interesting because as we're this low we can see the big plug hole where the plug came out. Look at that. In the distance it doesn't look too big. I could do that. It would be a little diddy plug, but it's not. It's enormous. And now the water's reduced to this. Lots of reeds, lots of gorgeous white flowers. Not a lot of anything else. Aha, I've discovered something. Tadpoles! So we got to climb up there?
Yeah.
Right.
That's the theory.
Okay then. This is going to be a long climb and it's very steep. So I'll turn the camera off because otherwise you won't see anything, just me falling over a lot. Because we have to get to the top, level with pretty much that wall. Uh-oh. You'll find out if we make it. We're halfway up the hill. I'm very out of breath and I looked down and found this. Now it's not much of a find in one sense, but it's the first thing we found of any age. And can you see that's blue glass? So that is off a blue glass bottle. Let's try it up to the light. Okay then, you think I'm wrong. You think I've made a complete numpty of myself. What is it?
I'm wondering, I'm not sure. I'm wondering if it's a piece of pitch.
Well, now when I hold it up to the light, on the edge you can see it's green. So when it's up to the light, it looks like green glass. When it's down here, it looks like blue glass. But Phil thinks it's pitch.
Yeah, it definitely looks blue along that edge, but the texture, if you feel it, it hasn't got the coldness of glass.
I think you're probably right.
I think it's a pitch liner out of a pipe, which was pitch lined. That's what I'm thinking. Something of that effect.
Right, you think it's worth a fortune?
No.
Oh.
But, you know, before we venture out, we always do our research. And it was exciting for a moment because, nearly 20 years ago, somebody was up here metal detecting in the woods. And the water levels had dropped a little, so they wandered along the bank in and went home with over 20 cod bottles. And they posted a notice about it in 2009, so obviously people have had a few years to come up and find them. But we haven't found such treasures today, but we've certainly had a fantastic walk.
And I'm going to pretend my bit of pitch is a piece of glass, because it makes me happy.
Well, we're making our way along the inner side of the wall that would have held back the waters. And so far all we found is numerous pieces of scaffolding from works that have been done over the decades. So if you want a bit of scrap, this could be the place to come. But I've had a message from our friends Mary and John, and they've said they've left another package for me down the dump. So let's pop and see what's down there, and I'm guaranteeing we'll have some finds under the donkey jacket. So what a wonderful day we've been having so far, and it's still beautiful and bright. In fact, there seems to be more sunshine now in the late afternoon than there was during the day. And I'm down at the dump, having answered the message now from Mary and John, and here is the donkey jacket. This is the secret hideout for treasures that are left behind. So let's have a little look what we've got. Oh, it's rattling. Put the donkey jacket back. What bag of treasures do we have today? I never know what's going to turn up in this bag. They leave me a carrier bag, I come down, and we've had all kinds of things. We've had plinths and teapots and spouts and toys and, well, you name it, it's been here. And of course some lovely melted bottles. But I can see something rather peculiar in here. Well, one thing I know we've got in here is a snail. So we'll get him out, but he's attached to this. You see the snail there? This chap there. So we'll leave him behind, we shan't take him with us. But there's some other bits and pieces inside there. But look at that. Good grief. It's a dolphin. Ooh. Now, I believe that's one of those contraptions for holding a loo brush. You put the brush handle there and the brush down in there, and you stand that by the side of your lavatory in the bathroom. Wow, isn't that posh? I like that. Now to see what they've put inside at the back. Oh, look at this chap. Isn't that a beaut? That's absolutely lovely. Yeah, one toy horse. Admittedly, he's only got a leg and a half, but I still reckon I can make good use of that somewhere in one of my creations. What else is there? A little jug. There you go. Now, I remember little jugs like this. My mum used to make mint sauce and put it in a jug like this on the table. So that's a nice little piece. Just a tiny little ding at the top there. But other than that, it looks in pretty good nick. Now let's have a look what else is in here. There's a couple of bits in the bottom. Oh no, that's a nice, oh that's very pretty. Isn't that a pretty piece? Have a look what else we got. A very curvy piece of glass. Look at that. And I wonder if that was caused during its being heated up on the dump, or whether it was that shape originally. I'm not sure, but I am sure I'll find a use for it. But doing well so far, and I can see at least one more find in here. Whoop, I think there's two, maybe three. Let's have a look at this. Oh, look at that. I know already that one or two are going to say, and Phil, it's a perfect soap dish. And look, you've got the ridges underneath. Poison written on the bottom. It's a green poison bottle. Let's have a look at that up against the sun. Oh, doesn't that look nice? Very nice indeed. Ooh, two pieces of china. Some lovely flowers on there. Some pinks and yellows, and on here we've got some yellows and blues. I'm sure they're going to look lovely cleaned up. But don't forget, if you'd like to see the things we find and join us for some fun and a quiz and just what we like to call a happy hour, then every Saturday night 9 PM UK time we're on live. And folks, it's worth joining us just for the chat. There's so many lovely people there chatting away to each other and making friends from around the world. So feel free to join us there. But I better get out of here, put these things into the bag and go catch up with Caroline, who's headed down onto the dump. She can't resist.
There do seem to be some new bottles dotted around the place, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for things. There's a big brown wine bottle there, half a cup. Another beer bottle. And some new rubble going in on the top, which is a shame because it's covering all the exciting things.
You see the two butterflies?
Two butterflies,
On the brick.
Yes.
Right on the brick there.
We'll leave the butterflies in peace to dry their wings and carry on. Ooh! Look what's sticking out of the ground there. It's a ceramic bottle stopper.
Ah, that looks like it's out of a
hot
foot
water
warmer,
bottle.
water bottle type
Yes.
thing.
And that was just in the soil there. I wonder why that came to the surface. I don't mind. I don't care how it came to the surface. I've got it. Oh, how lovely. I'm pleased with that. You can see where people have been digging along the top there, so there could be some new things down over here. There's a broken bottle. Oh, look at that. I wonder if somebody put that like that and forgot to take it with them. There's all the bits of a teapot. Look at that, Phil.
Are there all the bits? That's the question.
I don't know.
There's a few bits. There's only one way I'm ever going to know. Pop it in the bag, and when I get a chance, take it down the shed and see if I can put it together.
Good plan. What else do we have down here? Oh, there's a little Shipham's paste pot. Oh no, it's a big one. And lots more broken bottles. Lots of jars. Look up on here.
Oh, that's a shame.
What's that? Oh, a tablespoon's bottle.
Dinged on the top, look, see?
Yes.
Took a bit of a whack.
Oh, it's also
and
got
he's
some
cracked
cracks
there.
too.
It's got the...
What a shame. Phil spotted a bottle down here. Wait, that one?
No,
No?
down under the trees.
Under the trees in there.
No, to the left.
Oh, I can see
There.
it.
Just looked like it didn't have a screw top on it. I'm wondering if it's...
Oh, it's got some writing on it. And it's not a screw top. Dinnyfords.
Oh, that's nice. It's a lovely script, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Oh, we'll take that home, clean it up, and you'll be able to see it on the live show 9 o'clock Saturday evening as ever. We'll show you it when it's all nice and shiny. That's a nice one. Well spotted, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. In the bag he goes. Now, the last time we were here and the owner was taking a stroll with his dog, we were chatting to him and he was explaining the process now that this dump is going to slowly disappear as he backfills. So the edges that are there now will slowly disappear as more and more is tipped on. So he said to us, if you want to have a little dig into the bankings, feel free. So with that invitation in mind, I've come equipped with
that.
a little shovel. I haven't brought a spade. I don't want to dig holes. I don't want to go deep. But I just thought it might be interesting to have a little scratch around in some of these waste piles and see what I come up with. If I find anything, I'll be back.
Oh, there's a nice little bit of blue. Yeah, it's a bit scratched and marked and a bit rusty. Nice though. I think I'll take that. That's lovely. Maybe I can put a light in that for Christmas. That would look pretty. Is there anything else to make this banking worth climbing up? The bottom of somebody's shoe. We got a green bottle. There. With a bit of a label on. Not much. Oh, look at that bowl. What a shame. I think that's spongeware. not enough really even to make half a dish. If there was enough for half a dish or half a plate, I'd take that, but there's not really enough to do anything with. And we got another one of those little shaky aftershave type bottles. You may notice I've got my new welly bobs on off Phyllis. They're really handy because you don't have to be really hot in the summer's day unless you're going in the water. I'm not going in the water today, so I'm christening them on the dump. They were a lot shinier than this before I came to the dump. It's very dusty today. There's so many chopped down trees, rubbish, earthworks, and right in the middle, look at this cheerful little daisy. How are you getting on, Mr. Johnson?
Hello. Nice of you to come and visit.
Well, we thought we'd come and see what you found. Anything?
Yes, I'm going to claim find of the day.
Go on then.
Find of the dump.
What have you got?
And for this dump, possibly find of the century.
Oh, right. Is that good, is it?
Maybe not, but it's very good. Have a look on my pile over there.
Oh, lots of goodies. We've got a Brill cream jar.
Yeah.
And I can see something already, but I'm going to be sensible and show you everything else. We got a little bottle with a screw top lid. Cute little beer bottle. Looks like a beer bottle.
Possibly like a Britvicky type bottle.
Yeah, it could be.
Two of them.
Two of those. One blue. Whoops. Probably milk of magnesia, and look at that.
Look at that.
Oh wow, we've never found a pipe bowl down here. I know it's not a whole one, but that's quite an achievement.
We found 2 or 3 pieces of pipe, haven't we? We found pipe stem, but that I think has got to be absolutely, I think that is the best we've found down here.
I would say so. It's quite a small bowl as well, so quite old.
The funny thing is, if we found that in Yorkshire or anywhere else like that, then we think, oh, that's nice, shame it's broken, because we pick up whole pipes, and I know Adam picks up pipes galore there on the estuaries, but down here, that is absolutely top notch, brilliant. As you say, not the smallest, but certainly not the biggest.
No.
So considering this is the 1950s, I know we've pulled some bottles out from perhaps the 1920s, that just seems quite
much older, isn't it?
Quite old. It is older, and I'm thinking it was a broken pipe that somebody had and got thrown away with other stuff rather than anything else. No pattern to it or anything, just a little stand piece and that there. But you dropped my tin opener. See, you knocked it to the floor.
I know, look at that. Oh, I tell you what, that's a medieval tin opener. Look, you can see by the style of plastic they used on the handle. I was going to say,
I think the plastic gives it away a bit.
Okay, so maybe it's not medieval. Almost medieval.
Is there a name on it?
No.
Is it Betterware or something?
Nope, can't even see prestige or anything like that. So it's a bog standard tin opener. The ones you used to have to stick it in the tin and then wiggle it back and forth to cut the lid. They were death traps. I cut myself with one of those many a time.
The weird thing is, and I think this is what comes of the dump being turned over and relayed, is that to find a 1950s tin opener next to what could be an 1880s clay pipe in the same patch.
Yep. Any more? Any more?
Well, I'm still looking.
Right, come on, keep digging, keep digging.
I can see
a excited now.
Spark plug.
Oh, a spark plug. Is this a whole bottle buried in the ground? Ah, I don't think it is because I can see clover through it. Oh, is it? No, no, look, it's just the top. That would have been off a lovely bottle, wouldn't it? Look at the size on it. That would have been quite a substantial one. Let's have a look at the colour. Amber. Oh, if that had been whole, that would have been some special bottle.
Hello.
Hello, what are you doing?
I'm messing about on the banking.
Yep, you found anything?
Yeah, there were 2 very nice chunks of china in the bag of bits that I had left for me.
Right.
And that one will go nice with it as well.
All right, very pretty.
Because some pretty colours. And there was also a melted bottle in there, and look, I've got one. Now,
what colour's that?
I'd say it's possibly an amber bottle or a brown bottle.
Yes, it's an amber one. I can't have a look properly because I'm falling off the slope.
Yeah, don't fall off the banking. But see, it's got the ridge lines around the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, in the bag, because of course you haven't seen what was in the bag.
No.
There was a green poison bottle
wow.
flattened in the heat.
Right, perfect.
So now I've got this one to go with it as well. So
Very
there we
nice.
go. 2 more finds.
Phil's doing some crazy digging again. And I've spotted something green that looks like it could be brass or copper. Copper probably. Let's have a look. What's a door handle or a doorknob? Or a drawer. Something like that. Oh, that's nice. I don't know how well it'll clean up, but I'll give it a try. Have you found something?
I don't think it's a fossil, I'm not sure.
Oh yes, it is.
Couldn't tell. Do you think so?
Yeah, I'd say that's a fossil. Oh, lovely. I like that. No, look, it's a little doll's shoe. There's even the little hook attachment thing on there. Oh, that's a sweet one. Oh, if we could find 2, that would be perfect. It's nice to find one. I wonder what little girl had that dolly. I wonder what she called it. Can you identify this mystery object? Put it in the sunshine there. What do you reckon that is? If you think you know what it is, let us know in the comments. It'll be fun for everybody to have a guess, see if they know what it is. That's where we were, digging away, and now we come up onto the top because occasionally you'll find something that's washed out when you've had a little bit of rain. Perhaps the top of a marble or something like that is showing. So, oh, that's a piece of tile. That wasn't washed out. Oh, it's quite wet underneath, so it must have been there for a while. Well, I wonder how that got missed. It's lovely though. Cream and like a ginger colour. I love that. If only we had the whole tile. It's very rare we find a whole tile. Still, we're happy with little bits. And this is something we find a lot of. It's the end of baby's dummies. It's amazing how many we found over the last few months when we come down here.
If you've enjoyed today, then check this link and you'll see more videos that take you to interesting places and dumps and rivers and all sorts. And if you've really enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up.
Doing, doing, doing.
And don't forget, till the next time, have fun. Bye.
Bye.